Hi guys, welcome back to our video. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to wire up a fire alarm device to a PlayStation without a panel. So, I'll go over what you're going to need. So, you're going to need an alarm. Could be a strobe only, horn strobe, doesn't matter. As long as it's, it's a functioning alarm. And then you're gonna need some sort, and it doesn't even have to be an alarm. Like it could be a light, it could be anything that will work under power. Not like a wire nut. It'll just turn on though. But then you have this, and a PlayStation. Could be a light switch. Could be anything that makes two contacts. You could just have two wires and connect them. Optional if you want to, I guess. But when I first started out, I had a Commander 3 strobe only and no PlayStation. So I just wired that up. And some PlayStations have pigtails like this one, and then some of them have terminals like this one. Yeah. So the two things that you're going to need is something like this that can turn on when power is going through it, and an initiating device, whatever it is. You can either use batteries. I'd say don't do the option where you connect them like this, like that, and then that. I've actually almost started a fire where I did that. Initially, I thought it wasn't a good idea. I decided to try it, and I don't know if I just got unlucky, but I almost had the battery explode. Good thing I threw it outside in the raining. It was raining, so be careful if you're using a 9-volt battery like that. I wouldn't say don't connect them like that. I'd say put a wire in between them using electrical tape. Yeah. Or you can use a power adapter. So make sure it's at least on the device's rating. So this one is 12 volts through 24 volts. So this one's actually a 9-volt power supply. And it still works with most alarms. Not every alarm works with it, most do. But make sure, if it's like this, you could cut off of like a phone, like an old phone, and charger. And you can, if it's blank and it doesn't have anything, don't use it because it could be 40 volts DC. That's the thing, is you want to make sure it's DC. And it's through 12 or under 24 volts. 24 volts or under. Or 12 volts and higher. Some of them take 120 volts. You can look at the back of their device to make sure you're using the right type. So you're going to need some sort of power supply. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead. Some of them take flathead, like this one. And then if your PlayStation have pigtails, you might want to use. You're probably going to want to use some wire nuts. And if your alarm has pigtails, usually they don't, but if it does, then I suggest if you got it from a building, from someone, or you got it off eBay or something, when people take them out of buildings, they cut the wires off right here. This I got brand new, but this, they usually just cut off because time is money. So you might think your alarm has pigtails, but it just has a mounting bracket. They just cut it off. So maybe you can check that out. You're going to need some sort of wire strippers. Your wire, and I just have a bunch of wire right here, but you're gonna need one piece of 2-conductor wire and then one piece of single conductor. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, well, before we actually get into it, some of them might have a rated back box. This is for the BG12 series, but yeah, some of them do. It just goes flush with it. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so what you're going to start with is, if your wire's like this, you're going to pull out a decent amount and cut it. And then what you're going to do is, this is actually 4-conductor, but you're going to strip your cable. If it's not stripped already, if it's a non-stripped cable, then you're fine. And see how this is 4 conductors? We're only going to need 3. So since it's a 4-conductor, we can just get this out of its casing, the black. And then we can do this. We can go ahead and do that. We can strip it, And then we don't want to do you don't want to cut, like, say the blue, because we already cut the black at the other end. So, we want to cut the black again. But yeah, like I said, you could just have one piece of 2 conductor, and you can use a 120 volt rated wire. It's still going to work, it's just oversized. So yeah, and you can actually strip your wires. Make sure you have the right gauge in your strippers. Some strippers are automatic, some are hand. I find these pretty easy. Good. If it's stranded, you might want to spin it so those strands don't come apart. What I found helpful, if you spin it, they stay together better. And if your wire's really old or it's been stripped and used a bunch, you might just want to restrip it because it's probably worth it. Spin it like that. And I can do the other end. Spin it. There you go. Okay. And then what you're going to want to do is, if your wire has a pull case, you can just pull it, let's see, like that, and then technically just take it out if you want to. So I'm going to take our wire out of the sheathing. As you can see now I have 3 wires. Okay, and then, so I guess we'll start with our red as our positive. So you're going to start by slipping over your pull station and either pigtails or screws. You're going to either untighten the screw and put it in there and tighten it, or you're going to wrap your conductor around the pigtail on your pull station. Make sure it's whatever color you want. And then you can get a wire nut if you want to. I'd say that you probably do want to get a wire nut. Make sure it's enough to cover the wires. Okay, now you have that, okay? And now you're going to take your pull station off the mounting bracket. So do that and you can slide it off. And then, so here's another example, is right here I have jumpers because the strobe and the horn is powered separately. So if your alarm is like that, then you can have jumper. So you're going to grab your horn. If you have a bunch of terminals, you're going to, should say it somewhere on the manual of your pull station. If you got it used and it doesn't say anything or the label's ripped off, you can usually find all the information of the device online. So right here it says horn positive. You're going to bring that horn positive to the strobe positive, then horn negative to the negative. There you go. Since this is not a panel, you don't need a resistor. So if your alarm has a mounting bracket, make sure to put it through the bottom. And then if your horn or whatever it is has 2 terminals, then you can use the other one. And make sure you're using the right terminal. And then you can go ahead and say, it doesn't matter what colors you use. I guess I'll just grab the yellow one and I'll put it in through the bottom. And then I will go to the negative right here. If you have jumpers, it doesn't matter which side. You're probably going to have 2 positives and 1 negative. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. But you usually will with newer devices. I know the AS doesn't, but yeah. So there you go. And you put in your other one. Then, so this, it has, I don't know how to get backwards. So it has candela select. So you can select the candela. Some are fixed. If it's fixed, it'll usually stay on the side of the strobe. And this is where you would change your tone. If you have a strobe only, then you're not going to have this option. Some of them don't have the option. So you can go ahead and change your dip switches. They're probably going to be on the manual. Again, you can probably find it online. But I'm going to, right now this is on chime code 3 low volume. So once I have those 2 wires hooked up, I can close this or put it on the mounting bracket or flip it back over if it doesn't have one. Then you're gonna grab your yellow, which is gonna be our, what you can do is, if you want to, is mark it with like a piece of black electrical tape or duct tape, marking so you know which is positive and negative if your wires are the same color. But we're fine because we're not. And I'm gonna be using this power adapter. So if you're using a power adapter like this, some of them will have red and white, but if it doesn't and it's black like this, the positive is gonna have little white stripes. So stripe, stripe. So that's how you know that's your positive. So this is our positive right here. So if it has a connector, you wanna snip it off and strip it. And then when you find the one with the lines on it, that's your positive. So you grab your positive and you're gonna put it on your other terminal on your pull station. Like that. And then you should be able to flip over your pull station. And then you're gonna grab your yellow. What you can do is you can actually put the negative straight into the back of the device if you want to. But since this is not stripped good, I'm gonna restrip it. It's worth it.
Suicide, oh my God, that's so tragic. I know he loved his wife very much. He was really distraught when she left him.
So basically what we're doing is we're having our negative always on the device, but then the positive is split into two pieces. So when this is pulled, it basically grabs those two pieces and connects them together and finishes the circuit, then causing the alarm to go off. You can put your positive always on and do the negative, it'll still work the same. So you can put a wire nut over it. And then some pull stations have locks, some of them have hex or Allen wrenches, doesn't matter. Some of them have screwdrivers, still gonna work the same. So you can go ahead, if you have batteries, what you would do is you would grab your negative and you put it on the negative of the battery. And then with the positive, you put the positive on the end of the battery, which I will sum up in a different video. So you can go ahead and plug your power in. If it goes off, then you wired it wrong and you might want to go check something out. And if you pull it and nothing happens, it's either you wired it incorrectly or you are using a too low of a power source or not a high enough voltage. So, yeah, some of them have keys, some of them don't, some of them do. They're all different. I don't have any pull stations without keys. Where did I put my keys? They're right here. So, yeah. So, what you can actually do is some pull stations have buttons. This one has a button. So, if I pull it, as you can see, it's going to go off like that. And then, either a key or whatever you have. Some of them, you can go and turn it. See, this one has a button, so if I put it down, it'll stop. So it doesn't have a latching circuit. If I let go. So basically what happens is that lever's holding down the button, and then when it gets pulled, it let goes of it. Let it go. And lets it spin up. So to reset them, some of them are automatically reset. So you just open it and close it. But you need a key to reset a pull station or some sort of tool. So you can go ahead and lift that out, or however you do it, and you can close your pull station. So if you see this one, if you pull it, this one, just when I open it, it just automatically springs back up. And it has a button, so I don't need to do anything else, so I can just close it. Like that. Yeah, so that's kind of, it's pretty simple. It's just a circuit, simple circuit. Yeah. I hope that helped you, and yeah, bye, and I'll see you guys next time.